So a lot of us have been in pursuit for a lot of things in this life. Most of us are chasing for dreams. Most of us are chasing for ambitions, desires. Most of us are chasing for passion. Most of us are chasing for going after the things that they so desire or we so desire to see happening in our lives, with the notion that whatever it is that we hope to get, whatever it is that we are going after, is out there. We strongly believe that when we can try enough, when we can push enough, when we can go deep, go out there enough to look for these things, then we will surely get them. So our existence has solely been push out. You have to go out there, you have to be out there. How many times have we heard people advise that you have to put yourself out there, you have to make sure you are out there, you have to connect to the people out there. So our conversations automatically set a borderline underneath everybody's pathway that whatever you are looking for, whatever you hope to get, whatever you hope to achieve is out there. So we find ourselves in a place where we live an out there life instead of living an in here life. So when we are looking for love, we look it out there. When we are looking for partners, we look it out there. When we're looking for careers, ambitions, we look for these things out there. And we'll forget that the things that we are looking for out there all exist in here. Everything that is happening to us, everything that we see, everything that we're going through is happening right inside of us. So instead of spending our days and our time pursuing the things out there, we should rather spend that time pursuing the things in here. And this is something that nobody is teaching. This is something that people don't talk about. The mainstreams, of course. All you would have is alternative speakers and ministers and teachers teaching these things. But in the mainstream of things, nobody's really teaching these things. Because in the mainstream, you have to be out there to become. That is a very wrong approach to life. And that is why most of us find ourselves the place that we are. Aquaba family. Guys, I miss you. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day, or you had a great day, or you are about to have a great day, depending on the time zone that you are. Welcome to the Melanated Truth. I'm excited, guys, because there's a lot happening behind the scenes, and I just can't wait to share them with you. And I know that time would permit us to be together, or to meet together, to understand some of the things that are happening behind the scenes. And these are things that we can't say over the internet, but we talk about some of these things on the Zoom community. And also, please, if you haven't hit the subscription button, please do so. It looks like because I threw my attention, or my attention was drawn away from asking you to subscribe and tell your friends and family about this, I think you've slow down a bit. But we got to pick up the space. Please make sure you tell your friends and family about us, about our community, about our family, about the special thing that we are doing in this house. And you're part of this special thing. So please, if you haven't hit the subscription button, make sure you hit the subscription button, you hit the notification button, so that every time a new video comes up, you would definitely be notified. And we give all praise and all thanksgiving to the powers that be, the creator. Of course, you can choose to call the creator whoever you want to call, however you want to express his existence, but I call him my father and the creator, of course, and I know you can do the same. But feel free to call the creator anyhow you want to call it, because his name is not known to anybody anyways. We have titles that best describe according to our customs and cultures. who the Creator is. And also, I want to give thanks to the powers that be, from powers of the air, earth, water, fire, esi, ajo, abne, aoku, yao, efi, amen. Nana Hofe Jahima, and also, of course, without a doubt, Nana Frama, for always being with us and always guiding us and always protecting us and always leading us to truth and depth of what we need to know in our experience here in this dimension. Also, I want to say, listen, today I decided to take time out and talk about our fast, because we have our 40 days fast just around the corner, and it's going to be something else. Don't forget, right after the 40 days, we have our sacrifice. The sacrifice is actually the climax of the fast. The sacrifice is the climax of the fast, and I don't want to trade the sacrifice for anything. So, family, we got to get ready, because our fasting is just around the corner. But before we go any further, watch this announcement. I think we have to come to a place where we literally differentiate what is spiritual and what is not spiritual. In our pursuit for spirituality and depthness of experience in this dimension, we oftentimes find ourselves calling a lot of things that are physical experience as spiritual, and things that are spiritual experience physical. Or hence we tend to classify everything that is happening in our human experience as spiritual, whilst some of the things that we call as spiritual are not necessarily spiritual. And one of these subjects is the subject of fasting and prayer. And prayer, of course, is spiritual, so that no argument about it, no debate about it. We all know prayer is something that is got to do, whether you believe in spirituality or not, whether you are in the religious background or religious sector or not. Prayer is basically you releasing certain vibrations into the atmosphere and allowing yourself to receive a feedback to the certain vibrations that you've released to the atmosphere, whether it be sacrifice or whether it be libations or offerings or invocations, whichever, or thanksgiving, whichever form of prayer that you choose to do. We all know without a doubt prayer is spiritual. So when you put the two together, fasting and prayer, it kind of easily makes everybody associate the fasting bit to spirituality. So every time we hear the word fasting, we are thinking this is a spiritual exercise. Well, I'm here to bust the bubble of a lot of people and say that fasting is not a spiritual exercise. Fasting is a very physical exercise. Fasting is happening in our physical curriculum and not in our spiritual faculty. So whenever we talk about the essence of fasting, we literally need to understand that we are talking about their body. We need to understand it's not only in spirituality that fasting is recommended for people to do. Doctors are using fasting as therapies to heal their patients. Surgical rooms, when you're going to the surgical room, they tell you you don't got to eat anything because of the operation you're about to undertake. There are certain things that we do that you need to be on empty stomach even before you do it. Even athletes are advised that when you are going into a competition or matches, don't eat certain kinds of food. You need to keep balance of your stomach weight. So therefore, the psychology of fasting is not only limited to spirituality or religiosity. Fasting cut across. Fasting simply means abstinence from a particular thing that you do or you are used to doing. Abstinence of certain things, and majority of us has even limited it to just food, just eating, that we sort of make it feel like it is when we stop eating that we are actually fasting, but that is not necessarily true. So fasting is not something that is happening in your spiritual being. Fasting is something that is happening in your physical essence. So therefore, fasting becomes on its own a very physical exercise and not a spiritual exercise, because fasting does not add an inch to your spirit. Fasting does not add any weight to your spirit. And just as I said from the beginning, we make it sound like we have to be out there, we have to go out there, we have to pursue certain things out there before we become who we are meant to be. That's not how it is in spirituality, because when we say that you have to do something to become something spiritually, we literally say that the Creator was short-sighted and short-minded for him not to fully design your spec before letting you out here. You have been in existence for centuries, thousands of years, if not millions. You have been in existence for a long time. So before the Creator created your existence in the cosmos, not just in this physical realm, he made you perfect. So the thing is that you were perfect before you came into this dimension. You are not now coming to be perfect spiritually. You are made whole. What is happening, this spiritual process, is not to uncover or it's not to become perfect spiritually. What we are only doing is uncovering our perfect spiritual state. So the more we go deeper and deeper, we unravel a lot of things that we keep covering, that has been covered, that has been hidden within us. And all of this is happening within us. So therefore, the Creator, it is safe to say the Creator created us in a way that we are perfect. We are perfect from all dimensions. We are perfect. That is how just the Creator created us. There's no argument. There's no debate to it. It is when we come into this dimension that we begin to sway away from our perfect state, our original being, our original life. Hence the reason why a lot of people have decided to stay on fasting time, so that in the fasting period, you don't pay attention to the things of your flesh that draws you away from your spirit. You pay less attention to the things of the flesh, and you pay more attention to the things of your spiritual essence. So the pain shifting of attention from particular things onto other things is basically what is happening whenever anybody says, I'm fasting and praying. So it's not the fasting that is actually doing anything to you, but it is the attention that is shifted from the food that you are bent on constantly consuming to the areas that you barely pay attention to, because your school system is not teaching you about spirituality, your environment is not teaching you about your spirituality, your religious set is not teaching you about your spirituality, even traditions are not teaching us about spirituality. So before you know it, nothing at all is drawing your attention to the most important aspect of your existence, which is your spirit. So therefore, when you finally come to a place where you want to fast, all that you are saying to yourself, listen, I've paid enough attention to everything that goes on around me. It is time that I pay enough attention to the person or the personality or the being that I am, which is sitting in this suit. Yeah, of course, don't make me bust your bubble to say that you don't get anything from fasting. You get a lot of things from fasting. As a matter of fact, the best way to bring health to your personal life and that of your family, the best way to keep your family healthy is actually fasting. Oh yes, fasting is one of the profound ways to establish healing or continuous health or perfect health in your family. One of the easy ways. You don't pay for it. You don't attend courses for it. It's free. You just decide, okay, this week, this day, this number of days, I'm not going to do this and that like we're about to do. This number of 40 days, we are not going to do such and such and such, which I'm about to break down. So fasting in a whole has been in existence from way back ancient times. Our generation or our time or few hundred years back are not, come on, when you even read the New Testament or the Bible in general, everybody was fasting all over the place. So what makes And you see, we got to be careful. This is not to say, and I've explained already, the fact that it is written in the Bible, fast, do this, it means that that was what was making them spiritual. Because if you think about the whole concept of Jesus in the New Testament Bible, Jesus was supposed to have come from the divine, knowing exactly who he is. He was supposed to have come from a divine, and he was there with the Father, according to the New Testament. Don't get me wrong. According to the New Testament. And he's there from the beginning, meaning he knows he's all perfect and all powerful. I mean, this guy was not impregnated by any man, according to the New Testament. So this man should be the purest of all forms. So why did he need to fast? Because the flesh, regardless of how powerful you are, regardless of what intelligence you came into this dimension with, the minute you hit this realm, you automatically get pulled away from your spirituality, and your focus is drawn to the things of the physical state. Nobody around you is challenging you to put your attention to things of the spirit, unlike I'm doing to you now. You know, I'm challenging you every day to become the best of you. So because of that reason, Jesus felt that, you know what, for me to get back to who I was from the beginning, I need to be on a number of days of fast, just to starve the flesh, starve the body, starve the physical essence, so that attention will be paid more on the spiritual essence. So if you want to tag fasting to spirituality, that is one benefit that you can say probably fasting is or has spiritual benefit, but it doesn't really. It just helps you focus and shift your attention to the things of the spirit, which is already perfect from the very first day you were born. So in the subject of fasting, two things come to mind: being hungry and having an empty stomach. These two things you need to be very much aware that are not the same things. There's a vast difference between being hungry and having an empty stomach. Even on the level of being hungry, you need to know that we have two dimensions of being hungry. The first dimension is when you are literally burned out of energy. When your energy levels begin to drop, when you don't have enough energy to do or pursue the things that you desire to pursue in life, then it is classified as hunger. So this is the first level of hunger. We have another level of hunger, which is the appetite for something. The appetite to pursue a particular thing. The appetite to go after the particular thing. That is definitely considered as hunger. So somebody will say, I'm hungry for success. It doesn't mean that the energy levels are low, or I desire, I'm hungry for anointing, or I'm hungry for this test, or I'm hungry for this game, or I'm hungry for this festivity. It doesn't mean their energy levels have dropped and they don't have any energy to do anything. It's just an increase, a very heightened sense of appetite for a particular thing. So when we talk about fasting, majority of the time, it is not about going hungry. I know a lot of people go like, wait, but when you fast, you go hungry. No. Fasting is not about going hungry. Fasting is about emptying your stomach. Ooh. Yes. Fasting is not about going hungry. Fasting is about emptying your stomach, letting your stomach be free. When you empty your stomach, it doesn't mean you are hungry. It doesn't mean that. Having empty stomach simply means alertness to productivity. It means what? The body is at a level that is ready to go more. It's ready to go. Your body is at a level to produce more. That is what it means to empty your stomach. So the truth of the matter is, your body and your brain works at its best when they are on empty stomach. What does empty stomach means? It means you taking in food and allowing your body to absorb the food, absorb the nutrients of the food into your system. When the nutrients of the food goes into your system, you are energized and vitalized to go. You understand? So fasting simply means you being at a place where you've allowed the food in your system to be absorbed into your energies. Now you are on empty stomach. You are not hungry. You are just on empty, meaning there's no weight in your stomach. Do we not attest to the fact that the more full your stomach is, the more immediately you want to sleep, number one. The more you get dull, the more you get lazy, the more you lose your concentration levels. Because when your stomach is filled up and is full, the brain's energy or the brain's concentration goes directly to the food that has just entered the system and is trying everything within its power to digest the food that is gone into your system so that the energy and the nutrients can dissolve or get absorbed into the cells and allow the cells perform better. So without the food going out of your stomach and into your bloodstream and your cells, your body is weakened. Your body is not strong. Your cells is not strong. Your thinking faculty is not sharp enough. When enough energy goes, imagine your brain needs 25% of your body's energy. So when your brain gets the energy from the stomach, boom, your brain is powered up. That is why even athletes are advised to be on empty stomach when they are going into competitions. I mean, you can attest to this fact. That's why I even said when you are going into the theaters and all of that, they tell you not to eat. Sometimes even delivery, when you are going to give birth, they advise you not to eat a lot because the probability of you eating and the food, listen, is a mess. You know what some of you that are being in the labor ward, when you have food that wants to pass out and the baby is coming, if you don't take care, you push the both out. And that becomes a mess on the table. Mothers, you know what I'm talking about. Because when you're about to push, you feel like pooing out. Right? So, how empty your stomach is determines how productive and how sharp you are in your feelings. When you are full, everything shuts down because the brain needs all the rest of the energy that is got left to digest that which has come or that which has been introduced into your system. That is why it is very much advised that when you are eating, don't eat the sort of foods that would keep 10 hours in your stomach. Eat the kind of food that at least within the next 2 or 3 hours, the food is digested. And that is how long food should stay in your stomach, not more than 3 hours. So if you're eating anything that stays in your stomach more than 3 hours, there is something wrong. You are not going to be productive. That food is not good for you. Any food that stays in you more than 3 hours, stays in your stomach more than 3 hours, causes you not to be productive because you keep dragging your feet during those hours. And also, that food is not good for you. So undigested food is what goes into the other side or other aspects of your cells and your bodies and your organs, then piles up to become fat. You understand? So being on empty stomach is basically what fasting is all about. Bringing your body to a place where it's not hungry, but at the same time, it's not filled with food. It's at an even cost and an even cost to run. That is why in fastings, your brains are sharper. Your brains connect to the dimensions. That is why all of a sudden you feel spiritual. Because your stomach is not full. So the brain is not working on your stomach with divided attention. You understand? Even in the field of prayer, when you are praying and you have a full stomach, you cannot pray that well. So what gives you the sense of spirituality is basically the brain not having to divide its energy to digest the food that is in you, but you get to use 100%, not 75, 100% of your energy, of your brain's energy, to go deeper into the dimensions. So we must all come to this place where we learn to stay, to balance the way we eat and ensure that our body is moving on empty stomach, especially when we are in places of productivity, when we are in the office, or when we are doing things that we want to do more. Even when you want to study something, right? The minute you fill your stomach up, you sit behind a book, Bible, philosophy, history, whatever, you will sleep. And it's no demon blowing any air on your eyes to cause you to sleep, or no spirit, oh, the spirit wants me to sleep. No, it's simply because your stomach is too full and the brain is using the rest of the energy that it has to digest the food that is in your stomach. So your brain has divided attention. You see, we must learn to go to sleep on empty stomach. The thing is, not hungry, but empty stomach. Because when you learn to go to sleep on empty stomach, your consciousness comes wide awake even in your sleep and is able to dive into the dimension. Unlike when you sleep with full stomach, you keep having weird dreams. Some horse is chasing me, some cow is chasing me, some dog bit me in my dream. I was jumping and all these weird dreams are coming about because you're sleeping on the stomach that is full, and the brain does not have enough attention to push your consciousness into divineness. So your brain is having divided attention, trouble while sleeping. And this is how you choke your brain, because while sleeping, you are literally telling everything within your system it's time to rest. So your brain knows that it needs to process the food that is in you, but at the same time, you are telling it to rest. At the same time, your brain knows that you need to go into the dream state. Hence the reason why majority of people don't even dream. Because you eat, you jump to bed, beef, stomach full. We need to learn to go to bed on empty stomach. So this simply means at least you need to ensure that you eat at least 3 hours before you sleep. At least 3 hours before you sleep. So you eat, you sleep 3 hours later. You understand? You eat, you sleep 3 hours. So this is perfectly giving us the best time to eat, around 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. Anytime after that is giving too much work for your system. It means you will eventually go to bed with undigested food in you. That is why you have those crazy dreams, because the food in you gets troubles your brain gets troubles your consciousness. Now you're all over the place in your dreams. Any purification or detox system that anybody have to go through, they tell you go through it on an empty stomach. They never tell you to do it on a full stomach, because when you do it on an empty stomach, you allow all the purifications that are taking place in your cellular level to function properly. Hence the reason why we have so many problems and diseases and sicknesses in our system today. Because we don't give ourselves enough time to purify itself. So what happens is that we keep piling up things in our cells, and our cells begins to gain weight, abnormal weight that is not supposed to gain. So you keep pounding pressure on your cells, and hence your cells fail to perform at the function that the Creator created it to perform. The end result, sicknesses and diseases. The fact that people are even, you see, we are told to eat more. Some medical professions or the medical association have come out with certain guidelines that is constantly telling us how to do this and how to do that and how to do that. Without necessarily understanding the implications of doing this and that on our human body. When you eat about 3 full meals a day, they tell you, the medical system tells you, eat 3 times a day at least. That is the best way to eat. Some even go 5 times a day. They eat breakfast, they eat between breakfast and lunch, brunch, they call it brunch. They eat lunch, they eat in between lunch and supper, they eat supper, and after supper they add up snacks. When you do that, you don't give your body enough room to operate, enough emptiness. You don't allow your body to finish breaking down the food nutrients that you've given it previously before you add onto it another one. So they tell you the least you should do is 3 times daily of food intake. It is very horrible for you. It's just like when they tell you at least you need to sleep 8 hours every day. 8 hours every day simply means 1/3 of the 24 hours you have to put it to sleep. 1/3. What does it mean? It simply means is that in your entire livelihood, you will be sleeping 1/3 of your years on earth. So when you are 60 years old, what it literally means is that you use 20 years to sleep. 20 years just for sleeping. 20 years when you sleep 8 hours. It means you use 20 years just to sleep. Don't forget, there are other maintenance issues that you got to go to, like the time you spend in eating, the time the food have to digest, where within those range you're not really productive because your brain is not productive. So that is plus 3 hours, right? The time you spend in the bathroom, the time you spend on the loo, the time you spend watching TV or reading the news and all of that. So before you realize, you are spending more than half of your years for sleeping and unproductivity, basically maintaining your body. So let's even leave it at 40% of your years. Not even 50, 40% of your years. Meaning when you are 60, 40% of that. You understand? 40% of that. About 25 years. You spend 25 years of your 60 years. It means you've only been productive for 35 years. And this is even me being benevolent, being merciful. You spend 25 of your years being unproductive. 25 years. Unproductive. And this is where attention is not really paid to. Imagine you have a cell phone. You have a cell phone, and every time in a month, let's stick to the 1/3 of your year sleeping. In a month, you take your cell phone to the repairers or the cell phone company because the phone is giving you problems. So the phone gives you problems for 10 days every month. Would you continue to use this phone? What would you call it that this phone is not productive? Imagine you have a car, and every time in a month you spend about 10, 15 days or 10 days, 12 days at the shop. You spend 10 days even 10 days at the shop every month. Would you continue to use this car? You call the car useless, not productive, right? It's the same thing. Most of us spend all these years being unproductive, but yet we never want to call ourselves unproductive. Because nobody is drawing our attention to the fact that we are taking our bodies to the maintenance every 10 days in every month, 30 days, every 10 days. If you work for your boss and every 10 days in a month you don't go to work, you think they will continue to employ you? No, they're going to expel you, they're going to fire you. Right? So what do you think should happen to the productivity of man? We should be fired because we use more time on the sidelines doing on it. And this is what the medical field tells us, that spend 8 hours of your life sleeping, spend 1/10 of your life sleeping. How is this going to make you any better? Have you seen any successful person in this life that sleeps 8 hours? So they tell the average, they tell the low income, they tell even whatever income level to sleep 8 hours a day. You sleep 8 hours a day. You spend about 6, 7, 8, 9 hours at work. Plus the 8 hours, how many hours? So how many hours do you get to invest in yourself? To spend time for yourself, to understand why. How many hours do you get for yourself every day? Do you understand? This is why a lot of people are not attaining the heights the Creator intended for us to attain. That is why we go on fasting days, to set ourselves from all else that have been taking our attention, and to say what? We are investing this time in building ourselves, in building who we are, in building our identity. That is why in our fast, we don't eat for 16 hours every single day. For 16 hours, you are not eating, you are praying, you are meditating, you spend 2-3 hours sleep, you are up again, we are going. Because you already have life against you anyway. You spend majority of your life wasting time. So we fast because we are giving our bodies the fighting chance. Let me tell you this amazing truth. When you learn to eat once a day, okay, and that once you eat well. So what I'm saying is that when you fast 16 hours a day for even 60 days, that I'm being too nice, because 30 days you should be able to correct and reverse a lot of things you're dealing with. For 60 days, when you do that, you will literally waive off most of the medical conditions you have. That alone would take care of medical condition. Why 16 hours? Because the day starts in the night. Majority of us think that the day starts when the sun is up. No, when the sun is up, you're already 12 hours late. That is why those who know, they start their day from PM to PM, not from AM to AM. So you start from 6 PM, the day comes to an end, the next day begins. You understand? So we fast from 6 PM all the way to 12 noon. So when we fast 18 hours, we give ourselves 6 hours to want to eat, to want to rest, to want to relax, to want to do whatever you want to do between 12 noon and 6 PM. Then right on 6 PM, we start going again. We are going to do this for the next 40 days. Listen, this is not doing anything spiritually to you directly. Indirectly, yes, it is blessing you spiritually, but directly it's not doing anything to you. But indirectly it's doing a lot to you, because it is building your body, it is restoring your body, it is purifying your body, and it is conscientizing you to pay attention to your spirit self, which nobody is telling you to, and pay less attention to your physical self, so that you can catch up the number of days and hours and time that you have been out of the spirit servicing the physical. This is what we do. This is why we fast. And this is what we're going to do from the 16th of August all the way to the 26th of September. This is going to be awesome. You don't want to miss it for anything. And of course, after it, we would have the sacrifice, which is going to be amazing. You don't want to miss it for anything. For you, if you want to be part of the fasting, if you want to be part of the prayer, if you want to be part of the sacrifice, please just join the community. The link is in the video, or you can just send me on WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is on the video. That's my personal WhatsApp number, is on the video. You can contact me, or just click on the link. It will bring you straight to the community, and let's have an amazing time in the next 40 years, because we are not just paying attention to our spiritual self during this fast, we are building and detoxing and flashing out every other thing that is gone wrong in our system, giving us these medical conditions that we have. I hope this video has been a blessing. Bless you guys. I love you, family. You guys are the best. You guys rock. You guys are the best family I can ever ask for. Make sure you hit the subscription button, notification, and I'll see you tomorrow for an amazing Health Wednesday with my sister, Abinayakwa. Love you guys. See you.